want to welcome Diana McIntyre-Pike. When you mention those names, you think of community tourism. When you say community tourism, you think about the bowels of Jamaicans' true hospitality. But certainly, with her how many years in the business, over 44 years, nothing prepared her for this COVID engagement. How has it been for you? What was it like? How was it going? How was it going for you when all of this happened?
Well, it was going well because the Villages That Business program that we created some years ago was accepted not only in Jamaica but worldwide. We're very honored to have had many awards. And the beauty of it is that people were beginning to understand that to enjoy the country, they would need to stay anywhere they wanted to, but they could go to the community. And we decided to formalize, when I say formalize, country style community tourism network, so we would get public liability, because that's important, taking the responsibility to take people out into the communities from any hotel. All inclusive used us, or everybody used us, because they said we were now able to take responsibility and not for them to have the responsibility. And I have to say that Caribbean Vacations helped us before. They gave us public liability insurance. So we were able to operate for 3 years with TUI, which is the largest operator in the world. And they decided to go to Orange Bay in Hanover, Orange Bay community. And what they liked was the natural approach, where people would go to the businesses like the hairdressing salon, then they went to the basic school, then they went to the prep school, then they went to the church, then they went to the community bar, and after that they went to the community restaurant. And then we did a little dancing with the bartenders and everything. Then we went down to walked down to the pastry shop where they got the plantain tart and quesadilla. So what that did was brought them into the lifestyle, which is why I call it the lifestyle community experience. So we had the TUI decided that they liked it so much that they sent their video people there. They were supposed to spend an hour to video, and they were enjoying it so much to spend the day.
Okay.
And so that was our success story with them. And then they have now set up their own destination management company, and we're about to try and link back with them. As it turns out, the person who is the coordinator of the TUI Caribbean happens to be my goddaughter, who I trained.
Yes.
And she worked with the Sandals, the Island Routes before.
Yes.
So Island Routes asked me to train them, the management team in community tourism. So what I'd say to you, Michael, we were building blocks step by step, and everybody beginning to understand now that we have to move with the community. And with this virus coming into here now, it's a wonderful opportunity for us to move our program further forward. The UWI, UWI Open Campus, we partnered with us and gave us a certification for our entrepreneurship course that we had. We did it successfully in Barbados. We now have the Barbados Community Tourism Network, and we've been to other Caribbean islands like Trinidad, etc. But what is exciting is that we were able to get certification within 3 days. We sent them our outline, which we've had for some time, and they were so impressed. They gave us certification. So Barbados actually got the first certified training from us through the UWI Open Campus. And they decided now that they like what we're doing, and we've signed another MOU. And one of the MOU's projects was for us to set up training online, because many people would like to come, but they can't afford it, to Jamaica. So the community lifestyle entrepreneurship training, they would be able to study online from any country. And we got the support now from the International Institute for Peace through Tourism, which I'm the Caribbean president of. Their destination management coordinator or consultant, he fell in love with the program so much that he decided he's going to partner with Contrastyle. So he set up the free of cost, visitcommunities.com. Destinations pay him. But he said, look, I love what you're doing. This is what my passion as well. So he set up visitcommunities.com as a community tourism website for the world, starting with Jamaica, of course. And, any other country comes on, it would be like, for example, Grenada is interested. They would be visitcommunities.com/Grenada, and so on and so on and so on. So we would then have a worldwide community tourism presence with what we were doing. And the way we would set up this webinar, and we're about to finalize it by the June, is that we would have people be able to visit communities online. We're going to set up virtual. As somebody who is in this kind of business, you would appreciate that.
So you are saying that you have gone virtual long before the world is sticking it on?
Yeah, we started that process. We haven't fully gone there, but we were in process when it happened. It was just amazing because we were just having this meeting when saying everybody can't afford to come. Because we did a community tourism study tour where they come for 10 days, 5 days with the training, the official training, and then 5 days visiting communities. So it would be a 10-day package, and they could stay at any hotel. So the beauty of what we do is that we're not saying they have to stay in a small hotel or homestay. We're saying you can stay anywhere. So, the big guys like us. They think that, they think that we're great because we're not saying they're not to stay in sandals or any other. What we're saying, you can have packages where we can design packages with your accommodation. So that, I think, is going to open up more.
So you are a little more than Airbnb. You are everybody and A to Z.
Well, the Airbnb came long after us, The Airbnb called me up and said they wanted us to highlight our experience on there. But the problem they had, which is something that concerned me, is that they said that people could not dine based on what TBD told them. They could not dine in a community. They could not go on the roadside. They would have to go to a hotel or an official restaurant. And that defeated the purpose of what they really wanted. And I think that was unfortunate at the time when they spoke to me. But I told them that I have public liability insurance, and wherever I take visitors in any community to eat, have bami, and all of this, those people have been trained by us. We have an academy for community tourism, and they have been trained by us. So there's no need to worry about the problem. So we were in process of discussing that, and we decided that we don't want to be known as an Airbnb place. What we want to do, and in Jamaica, we have had the homestay program, and we prefer to say we're going to access Airbnb rather than say we're an Airbnb property. If you understand what I mean, the difference. It's no different than saying you're going to.
Might I ask you, what is the philosophy behind the community tourism? Why have you taken that on as a passion? Why do you believe in it so much when, others would want to go for the big boys? They would want to say, let's do this.
Well, the passion started from I was born, because my mother is the one, and my father was, let me say my mother, Million Day. She was a pioneer of the grill. And we had guest house in Sabalmar. Before I was born, she had a guest house. Then after I was born, she had 2 guest houses. But I lived in the guest house and socialized with guests from I was 6, 7 years old. And my mother did not do anything special for them except to bring them into the lifestyle, go to church, go to supermarket. If we had a party to go to, we invited the guests to come, that sort of thing. So it's a mindset that I learned from an early age. We didn't call it community tourism then. It was only natural. And as a matter of fact, when I went and studied hotel management in UK and came back home, we were in Mandeville then. We had our hotel then.
Yes.
I decided I'm just going to go back to the hotel with my parents. And my mother looked at me and said, I think you should get exposure to the resort areas in the North Coast. because maybe you can make a difference. That's what my mother told me.
Yes.
And I said, okay. So she went to a meeting and told him I'm available. So I got a job offer from Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
That was the largest hotel at the time in Jamaica, which is a joke now. It was 558 rooms.
Yes.
And I became the guest relations director.
Okay.
And after, I was only 21, Michael.
Mhm.
After I went there, after 3 months, I was in shock because I felt like I was in a foreign country. I was in America. America. Everybody in the staff spoke with a twang. I didn't see any Jamaican food being offered. And when I said to them, why are you speaking to me that way? Are you from Jamaica? They said, yes, but they won't understand us. I said, of course they will. They came to Jamaica and
Yes.
they want to hear us. And that's 1973, Michael.
Yes.
So I went to the general manager. This is a very interesting story. I
Yes.
went to the general manager, who was an American, and I said to him, sir, if you don't mind, I would like to introduce a new activity here. And I'm going to call it the Jamaica Chit Chat Session
Mm.
as an educational program, a cultural program. And by the way, I'm about to revive that to offer it again.
Okay.
So the guests would then be able to know Jamaica. If they can't go to Jamaica, I want to bring Jamaica to them.
Yes.
So I went on the microphone. The hottest time of the day is 11 to 2. That's when you get burned. So I used to use that strategy and say, if you want to do something while you're out of the sun, come and join me in the conference room. And I used to bring like community people, market people, all kind of people in that forum
Okay.
as a rap session. And my dear sir, of course, I had to go and brush up on all my books from school, and I had them beside me, like
Yes.
maroons and everything. And I did a presentation, and then I opened the floor for questions. And I said, you ask anything you want, it doesn't matter. We are here because we want you to feel good and know about our country. And then, of course, the people who came, like the market people and so, and what they did was they invited guests to go to their home and so on. So it became, as they call it, the meet people thing, but in a different way.
Yes.
Now, listen to me. People would come to me after that and say, if you had not invited us to this, we would not have come back to your country because we wanted to see Jamaica, but we weren't getting Jamaica here. So I said, okay. So you know what I had to do? I had to run it every day. But not only that, I had to take my desk in the lobby because my colleagues were complaining that I turned the executive office into a marketplace. So I put my desk. I was the one who got that moving on the North Coast.
Yes.
Guest relation don't belong in your office. It belong out there to the public. After about a year, the general manager came and said, Miss McIntyre, report to my office. So I said, yes, sir, what's happening? He said, while I commend you for all you have done, because you've got a lot of publicity and good remarks from the guests, let me just say this to you. I want to ask you a question. Who do you work for? Montego Bay, Jamaica, or Holiday Inn? I said, I work for Holiday Inn, sir. Well, you have gone too far because I want to ask you another question. Who pays you? I said, Holiday Inn. He said, well, I want to remind you of that because I understand that you're marketing restaurants and all kind of things outside of this hotel. And it's against the Holiday Inn policy. So I said, well, if you know that guests want to have Jamaican food, then could you not turn one of the 3 restaurants into a Jamaican restaurant or even create a menu for it? He said, well, that's not going to be possible. So I said, in that case, sir, that means I don't think I'm going to stay here because I have to have people enjoy my country. I'm very proud of it.
Yes.
And after about, I gave them a month's notice. My mother always said, give proper notice. Guess who called me? Abe Issa.
Yes.
Abe Issa.
Uncle
Yes,
Abe.
he called me. He says, I have been watching you from the media and I like what you do. And at Runaway Bay Hotel, we have 3 jobs you want to merge. And I understand you like to work and you have a passion. And I'd like to invite you to have that job. Can we come and talk to you? And he journeyed from Kingston to Montego Bay to talk to me. And Frankie Rance, who was then the financial director, and FDR. So I told him I need to give a month's notice, and they said, oh, and I got a German scholarship offer which I turned down because I didn't want to go back to Europe again.
Yes.
And I went to there and I did the same thing there. And after about a year, my parents said, you should go to Germany. So I went to Germany and came back. And in 77, I decided no more of this resort thing. No, I want to do something for the community,
Yes.
with tourism. Remember, no, I didn't call it community tourism yet.
Yes.
But I met Desmond Henry,
Yes.
who was then, in 1978, he was the director of tourism.
Of tourism, yes.
Shared my passion,
Desmond Henry.
shared the idea, and he was very excited and said, okay, I'll join you on that. And we became business partners, and we decided to call it community tourism, right in my hotel dining room at the Astro.
Yes.
And that's how the name was branded and born. And then we marketed it with the South Coast area, and they liked it. And we got worldwide recognition through the IPT that discovered us. And I went to Montreal to their conference, second global conference, 800 delegates from 70 countries. I gave them the overview of community tourism, telling them the story I told you as well. And they were so impressed, they decided to create another chapter for the IPT out of North America, the Caribbean chapter, the first chapter. And I was the first president. That's over 30 years ago. And on top of that, they decided to have the IIPT International Community Tourism Network. And I am the coordinator for the world. So basically, what you asked me earlier, how could I not keep the passion going? At Soxal, I had lost my hotel, unfortunately, because I wasn't getting the support I should have got to do the upgrading after the hurricane.
Yes.
I went through what they call the Job days for about 10 years. I think that's why I got the Resilience Award in London last year, a top award. And you probably know I got the Responsible Tourism Award in 2008.
Yeah, I also know you got an OD. You have been recognized. You've been recognized by your country. Yes.
Yes, and my mother said she got it too, She got it 20 years before me. So she said, I have set the pace for you. So I'm just carrying on the legacy of my family in a nutshell. And my children have it now. Yes. Because my eldest son is working in tourism with ATL and so on, and he has a passion. He actually was the one who wrote and designed the training for the entrepreneurship program. He is the one who did it. Okay. And my other son is at our hotel, and he is going to implement the community tourism in Kingston. So what can I say?
Tourism, community tourism. You get a better taste of Jamaica, literally, with community tourism, because when you get into those isolation situation, we're not talking about COVID isolation now, but when you're locked behind those doors and they keep you security, but tell me, what about the safety of I know you have your liability and your insurance to which you allude, but what were some of the the kickbacks, the doubting Thomases that have come along the way and perhaps are still there?
We never ever had a safety problem. And the reason why is because we trained the communities first. We set up a steering committee for each community, because the concept of the villages as businesses is that they have to manage your community as a business. Do a business plan, which we gave them support with, and then they identified their assets, what school they had, the church, etc. And it is not focused on the way tourism focuses on. We focus on community development. And the community development is farming and all of that. So even if visitors didn't come, they would still have businesses, and we would market those businesses. That's what we've been doing. So this idea that because tourism has this problem now, that the communities will fall apart, it doesn't have to be that way, but we didn't get the funding that we were supposed to get for the training. The people need to be trained in technology and everything. That's what we have in our program. And UWI tried to get from the TF, but we didn't get through with that either. So we have now put together a program that the world wants, and the diaspora came on board. This is great news. The diaspora, Rudy Page, Making Connection Work, UK, Diaspora Connect 2022, the NAJASA, all these, and the Canadian diaspora, they all have come together, and said we want to support it because they would get accountability for whatever projects that we identified. And then we're trying now to set up this community tourism trust fund, which is so important because the funding, we have an amount that we put in each tour for contrast. And the idea is to have a capital investment trust fund where the interest is available for funding projects and helping communities. And for them to understand, they have to be trained to be accountable. They have to know that when they get money, it's not just work, go somewhere else. They have to be
Yes.
accountable. And
Yes.
if not, they're not going to get any more. So
Yes.
in a nutshell, the safety part is not a problem because they take care of themselves. Believe me, they are watchdogs. Nobody comes in there and troubles their business. It's their business. You know,
Yes.
if you have a cultural attraction, there's their cultural attraction, not for other people to just arrive to come and look at the cultural attraction. It's the wrong way. You have to have community buying so that they can earn the money in craft or whatever it may be. And that is the difference with our program.
Yes. Yes.
Understand?
Let me get to some of what's happening to tourism nowadays. How savage has COVID-19 been to the tourism product community and general tourism? How do you assess it from where you sit?
Well, I think what is happening here, the hotels, as you probably know, have all been, most of them have been closed. But what has happened, and I'm finding this, is that they're getting a chance to really research how they will operate differently. That is what I've noticed. They're going to do things differently. So this is where our program is going to be more useful because you have to care about who is out there. When you check it out, a lot of these communities that are by the hotels, they've never been in any of these hotels. They know nothing about it. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm about to do that. So I'll just first I'm announcing it. You know, dryland tourism, right? We are going to put together dryland tourism educational tours,
What is
which
that?
will be dryland is people from Jamaica, from communities, from the corporate area, from wherever, that they can go and learn about the hotels, they can learn about the communities and everything and the different attractions. So basically prepare the nation for receiving visitors to our country because everybody will have a more education in relation to tourism and what it's about. That's the missing gap.
Dry land
So
tours, but normally I hear it when they say you'll be like dry land tourists. In other words, would they would they participate in the product as well, in terms of going into one of these hotels as well? I mean, is that
yes, yes, we are going to engage the hotels, and I think we'll get good reception to accommodate them at a reasonable rate and get funding. That's where TIEP can help us and others and the diaspora. We get funding for the community ones who don't have the money to go and stay at the hotels or go to the attraction. We're not asking for it free. We're saying we want to have a program that we can market it and say we're going to help the communities to educate them. And you couldn't have better marketing ambassadors than Jamaicans and community people because all of them have auntie and cousin overseas. And them say, why we go and stay at the Sandals man and this is what them have. Who better to talk about it than them when they experience it? That has been my experience with them. Let them experience it. Let them experience a fantastic product we have. Don't isolate them.
yes,
So I
yes.
think that's where things will go differently.
Yes, indeed. I notice you're looking into the future and you refuse to be pinned down by me as it relates to what are the challenges now. I mean, I look at the long lines where people are going off to collect the little care gifts. And I know the tourism sector has been savaged by COVID-19. What is going on now and how are the people coping? What can you tell us about this in terms of their survival?
Well, what I can tell you is that people are definitely suffering financially, and they themselves are also creatively trying to find ways and means of survival. You know, when I look around and see how many people are now making the mask, different types of masks, I mean, I can't believe. When I go on the street, I see, I said, but that's how Jamaicans are. But we have put together a countryside delivery services, stay-at-home business, and we're getting response like Jamaicans overseas who have relatives here that can't go to them with to their word about them having food. So we are having direct links with a network of farmers and other people. A lot of people are in that business now. So we're networking with them so we can have them get some funds that way. And as you probably know, the government, RAD and so on, they're playing their part to help the farmers so that they can sell their products. The conflict I have, and you might have heard on the news, is that the bauxite industry has removed a lot of the farming areas. And the recent one was very bad. This lady was going to reap her potatoes in 2 months. They went and mined it, so she won't have her potatoes. That to me is a conflict right there. So we have to make up our mind in this country. Are we going to take care of the community businesses, make sure that we do the organic farming like Farm of Jamaica, Neil Curtis is doing. He's setting up an institute in South Manchester, which we are going to support. We have the Manchester Peace Coalition, which I'm a part of. We have the Manchester Wellness Foundation. All these entities are helping communities. We've identified 18 at-risk communities. So to answer your question, is to say that yes, there are problems there, but we have to do an assessment. We can't just say they're out there. This line of business, in my opinion, should not really be happening
Yes.
because it's not safe anyway to do that. We have to find a different way. And that's something I'm giving some thought to how that could work out. Because the people, they need help. They really need help. And, the young people in particular are frustrated, not knowing how they're going to move forward now. And of course, the young children. But I think the main thing, Michael, is that we have to identify the funding to get the entire country with internet and Wi-Fi access free of cost for the people in the communities.
Yes.
So then they are able to function.
Yes. Might I ask this? There's a lot of chomping at the bit now as to government should open up, either gradually, more quickly, shouldn't open up. How do you see it? And if you were tasked to sit in the chair of the Prime Minister, what are some of the considerations that you would bring to the table in making that decision?
Well, I think that it's a very difficult decision because I know what the Prime Minister is trying to do is to control the average person who are, I don't want to use a word, but they're not very disciplined. And they're going to go and just crowd out the place and the bars and things like that. So my response would be, you can open up, but you have to be very selective how you open up. And we can't shut down completely, which is something I respected, by the way. Some countries did, because anyhow they shut down Jamaica completely, the terminology hell with a pop here. I'm telling you, if you think we have a problem now, and with the crime and so on, it will be terrible. So I think they need to do an assessment of what businesses can be opened up, what bars could be opened up, and then get them to do a contract with those entities of an arrangement that they will have only 10 people at a time and that they won't have any parties per se because they don't want to have people coming there. And I think that we need to set up a training session with the different businesses that needs to be opened up so that we can get the economy moving. So I think education and training would be my focus. That's what I would do if I were Prime Minister. And let them know we're going to make a deal with you. Cooperate, and if you don't cooperate, well, we shut it down again. So it's for them to decide.
All right, look in your crystal ball. You have got your accolades. You're into this business. You've had your passion from your 21-year-old and all that type of thing. And I got
woman from born.
Where you were born. There you are. But nothing has prepared you for this. You, as a thinking cerebral woman, you must have said, well, what is it that, how can Jamaica benefit from this? What are the takeaways that you will take that COVID that like the sea has washed up on our shores? What is it that we're going to take away from this so that we can be better in the long run? Because it has to be a teaching exercise. So what is it that you have learned and what you think the country can learn?
Well, I think that first of all, the environmental crisis we have in Jamaica, which people don't realize that we have, that to me is the one that we have to really assess now and see how best we can set it up and stop building large entities in places that we should not be building them in. Change the style of development, more eco style, that doesn't cut down the trees and recognize that that's the way it should be. And the second thing is that the spiritual development of the people is very important. We have a way to say, well, we don't want to be this and that, but I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about the Holy Spirit and spiritual development where people can have a relationship with Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, because Jamaica is known to be a very religious country, but some people who are religious are not Christians, and we have to show them how to be Christians. That is my opinion. I've been doing that, by the way. When my training, yes. I tell them, thou God says you what you do, and if you do this, that's how I used to train. I trained 3,000 people in 5 years who did not reach grade 9 level, and all of them got jobs overseas and locally. But how I got them to change the way they dress, pants are up, not down, and that sort of thing, was that I said, if you behave this way, you'll not be a marketing ambassador for your community, your family, and your country. So you need to change the way you are. And they did. And I think we need to do that. That's why I came back to you and said the education trade. Jamaica can be I don't want to use the role model, but it can be the place where people will want to come to learn how to do it the right way. Integrating the community, protecting the environment, pay attention to what has been assessed in the past, and stop ignoring it. It's very important that we do that. And Jamaica is seen, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Jamaica is seen as a rubbish bin by many visitors. Mm. You'll see it yourself. I mean, everywhere you see rubbish everywhere, all over the place. I went to St. Lucia, I went to Grenada, I don't see that. I asked them the question, how come? They said, because they have an efficient garbage, and plus they educate the people not to do it. Yes. Now, listen to me. If we don't do that, we're not going anywhere. And I'm not talking about tourism, I'm talking about in general. Yes. The country is not clean. We've got to clean up our act. So this period now should give us a chance to assess everything, whatever funding we can get. That's where I would put some of the government money, the TF and so on. They must get the people educated to stop nasting up the country, because their mindset, it doesn't matter. Of course it matters, because it makes it unhealthy. So this virus is making people become more health conscious. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Very much so. I have people who were not health conscious before, who are now very much health conscious about how to improve their immune system, how not to eat junk. Yes. And I'm not going to say what the junks are, but what I'll say is that we in Jamaica can feed ourselves, because we have very good soil that we can grow things, and we have to not just grow things, we can't put the spray on there. We have to show them organic farming and the value of each plant and each vegetable and each fruit. Don't just sell a fruit. I go on to the vendors on the street. I said, by the way, do you know the value of this fruit? No, ma'am, I don't know. I just try to sell it. I said, well, let me tell you something. When I tell them, I said, when you are selling it, you are to tell them the nutritional value. Like one Danish berry, you have to eat 10 American apples to get the nutritional value of one berry in Jamaica. Yes. That is so powerful. So all of this goes towards building your immune system. So my other passion is the health and wellness. I don't eat meat. I eat healthy, and I have my fish, yes. And if I go to a community where they have the corn-fed chicken, I'll eat the chicken there. Yes. But, I think that people are beginning to realize that they do have a lot of value within their communities that can be marketable. Yes.
So you're saying that our economy can be
in a nutshell, Jamaica. Yes, yes, and we can feed the Caribbean too. When I went to Grenada recently, they're having American fruits, and I said, excuse me, why you guys have, you know, American fruit here. Well, they don't get the other fruit. I said, well, hello. That's what all the show is trying to do. I do. We
Yes.
can do it. We
Yes.
can feed the Caribbean. We are a Caribbean product.
Yes.
Why we all these apples and so on from America? I don't have a problem with it. I'm sorry, but I
Yes.
have a problem with the American apples all over the place because it's actually not as healthy because
Oh,
those are the rejects that they send out here.
okay.
You know that I know. So
Yes.
what we have to do is get our people to value what we have,
Yes.
right?
Indeed.
So you see, my passion is with everything: farming, art
Yes.
and craft. Now, that one I have to touch on, if you don't mind.
Yes,
But the
sure.
art and craft, Lord have mercy. You go on the North Coast, especially on the hip strip, and
I
you're
was doing the
seeing
same thing.
things from Taiwan and China and otherwise. We have such talent. Jamaican people are the most talented people. When you see, I have on this is from Aki, the Aki earring here,
Ah,
right? Aki. They don't have to pay for that, but they make it. Okay. No, I don't see these being sold. And that's just one. I have also where they recycle bottles and make earrings from it and, you know, nice brooches and so on. We need to do an assessment of what we have out there and improve them, sure. We need to improve them. But we should be marketing what we have and that the visitor wants it anyway. They're excited when they see that. You
yes.
know, they come to Jamaica. This is Jamaica. Jamaica is the best brand out there in the world. I go all over the world, and when they hear I'm from Jamaica, it's like excitement because you have Usain Bolt, you have all these wonderful people who have made our name, you know, Bob
Yes.
Marley, etc.
Oh,
But
yes.
we have to show now that this brand Jamaica, we're not easy, you know, we are a great set of people. We just need to get the discipline in place, the environmental consciousness in place, and we get the people educated in technology, and then we can move forward.
Diana McIntyre-Pike. I really want to thank you for your insight today and as to help us and get to sense of what drives you. And you're so full of hope. You know, you just see opportunities to move from here and there. So let me ask you the final one. Every morning you wake up, what drives you? What causes you to want to go on and get that energizer bunny attitude that you have?
What drives me? Spiritual time. I make time for my spiritual prayers, and I get messages. I have got, I can share that with you. I get guidance from the Holy Spirit. The name Villages and Businesses was not my idea, it was from the Holy Spirit. I prayed the night before. I said, people are not understanding community tourism, Lord, because they think we're developing tourism or communities for tourism, which we are not. We want to find a way. And would you believe that 7 o'clock in the morning, Villages and Business came on my lips and I wrote it down. And from that day, my life changed. So when I get up in the mornings, I ask the Lord to guide me to help the country and to help the people and to be available to them. I don't have a secretary. People can call me anytime, and they do call me. And those who have, you know, the phones, WhatsApp, oh Lord, in the mornings I have about 180 WhatsApp I have to go through, but I do go through them. I make time
Yes, yes,
because it's important.
yes.
Because one of the criticisms we have from many community people, them can't get nobody to respond and they don't talk to them, and that won't happen with me because I think it's important. And I now have a queen that has come on board with me. I call her a queen. I appointed her the IPT International Community Tourism Youth Ambassador for the Caribbean. Her name is Rasheen Dieter, and she is a tourism trained person. She's a massage therapist and everything, but she has the same passion. I've never met anyone with my passion like she has. So I'm grooming her. So
Yes,
if tomorrow morning I drop dead, that lady, but she can help me to go to other places when I can't go.
yes.
And then I have a great team. I have Alison Master, who is based in the California, who is someone who did the profiles for Manchester and St. Thomas and so on for 15 years in Jamaica, urban development consultant, etc. So she's one of my vice presidents. So she works closely with me online. She doesn't have to be here in Jamaica physically.
Right.
And then we have Valerie Dixon. I'm sure you've heard about her. She is the lady who does the cultural side of the business, and Marcus Garvey Heritage,
Yes.
Marcus Garvey Fair that we've had every year. And we have Maxine Donovan, who is now based in the UK, but she still works along with us with the art and craft development. I'm just giving an idea. And then the gentleman I told you about, Risa,
Yes.
he's the one that is working with us with the website development and putting whatever it is that we have on there. And the community partners that we have a membership organization. So
Yes.
they were members online. And I don't know if you've heard about Theo Chambers and Sharon Paris Chambers, but they are the health and wellness experts. Willie Christos, all these people, Keith Wedderburn, he has an organic farm. All these people have influenced my passion because they are doing it too. And it makes you realize how much you need to value the people and the consultants that we have in Jamaica and the Caribbean, by the way, are not getting the work. That is a big issue. So we're compiling a list of professionals that we're going to share with IDB and others and say, hello, we're here. We're ready to do the work. Please give us an opportunity.
Very well. And all I can tell you, ma'am, Diana McIntyre-Pike, we thank you for your service to the country.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate the interview and I look forward to getting responses about what we have just discussed. Thank
Very
you.
well.